The video for February 24th, 2017 is entitled Man-Made Catastrophe Being Created. I've seen several articles and videos dealing with the storms that seem to originate with cabal weather modification technology. It's not easy to get my mind around the idea that man has actually developed the technology to create and direct storms. Yet that is what some claim to be our reality. Those of us who have looked at things with a more critical eye and open mind realize that the cabal has long created war to feed their insatiable appetite for control of humanity. Are they now capable of also manipulating the weather to cause more disruption in people's lives? I question, where is God, and why doesn't he, she do something positive that benefits humanity? What's it going to take to end the insanity? I provide a link, and I'm making a correction here that I didn't see before. I provided a link to one such video, but there are others, many others out there. Anybody that wants to do a little bit of research and digging and get off the TV screen can find other videos and probably many articles that deal with the subject of weather modification. And I am all in favor of the idea that we can control the weather, but why can't we control it for good and not evil? Why does it always have to be something for destruction rather than something to help? Now, I remember back last year when there was a storm going up the Florida coast that was going to devastate Brevard County and many other areas, of course, too, but I live in Brevard County. And there were several of us that prayed and did some weather modification of our own, and for some reason, the storm took a jug handle and moved 50 miles further to the east. And instead of it being a Category 4 or possibly even 5 hurricane, it was only 1, 2 category, much lower winds. There was still damage, but not nearly as significant as it would have been if it had been a 4 or 5 category storm. So I think it's good that we have an influence on the weather, and we should. Prayer should be able to change things in our reality. And yet, I'm looking at the reports of what's threatening California with many dams collapsing, including a huge one that will make perhaps tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people homeless, wiping out whole cities and towns. Oroville, California is one that I remember from the thing, but there were several others, and there was the big dam, but there's seven. I think they said, the article said, 7 smaller dams that are also at maximum capacity and being threatened to collapse. This is something that to me does not make sense. Now, California is an insane state, as I see it. There's a lot of insanity in California. There's a lot of people that seem to be in favor of Hillary Clinton and the cabal, and seem to be working not for positive change, but for control. And that's been the problem. We've got people that have malevolent intent, that have been and continue to seem to be in control of things. And making catastrophe is one of the things that I just don't understand. Because if I could just flick a switch and help the situation, I would get the cabal to back down and make peace and tell the truth, and everything could be fixed. But it's not going to be fixed. I guess there's going to be catastrophe following catastrophe that's going to break forth, as it's been breaking forth throughout our history anyway, but even at greater seemingly greater intensity, maybe because now we're more aware because of the internet and the instantaneous news that we're able to get. We're more cognizant of what's going on than we were in the past. Nevertheless, I'm hoping for real positive change. I want to see a world that works for everybody, not a world that works for an elite small group of people that drain everybody else's wealth and everybody else's potential and subverts them. I mean, one of the articles that I read today talked about, what was he, not a Mennonite, an Amish farmer, or an Amish man who was selling herbal remedies, and he's facing 70 or 90 years in jail for improper labeling. And yet the pharmaceutical companies, and this is all done by the same cabal-driven insanity, they can put poison into their medicines and everything else. And this man is trying to help people, but the FDA and the three-letter agencies of our controlled government don't like that. So they're making an example out of him, and he's been doing it for 20 years. This guy's been selling these herbal remedies for 20 years, but they don't want that. They don't want that. They want us to take their poison medications, which of course I won't. I had to take them when I was in the hospital. They didn't really give me a choice. But nevertheless, as soon as I was able, I got off of them, and I'm off of them, and I don't intend to go back on. And if I get to the point again where I have physical ailments that seem to be threatening my life, I'm just going to, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight to survive. The world, if God doesn't take action to redeem creation, then it's not worth saving, as I see it. And I don't like to think like that, but that's how I think. It's not worth saving. If God is unwilling to help his own creation, then the creation deserves to be destroyed, and so does God deserve to be destroyed. I mean, why do we have to live on a planet where there is such craziness, it's as I said, insane. It's absolutely insane. The demonic control is an insanity. What's wrong with these beings? What's wrong? That they're trying to fight good and promote evil? What's wrong with that picture? What does that benefit? How can even they benefit from it? Evil destroys. It's living backwards. EVILLIVE. It's just getting the whole thing backwards. It's inside out and upside down. It's been all twisted out of shape and out of control. And if we can create catastrophes, why can't we create that which enriches and nourishes and sustains life? Why does it have to be destructive? These are questions. And I'm one that asks questions and tries to explore and find answers. And it becomes more and more difficult as things still seem to be not what I'd like them to be. And promises mean nothing unless they're fulfilled. Anyway, thank you for listening, and pray for one another. Namaste.